Welcome back. Philadelphia gives us the latest example of the poorest among us losing when crime spikes. And once again, the mayors, prosecutors, national media, and politicians that say they care don't. Wawa, a regional convenience store, announced it will be closing two of its downtown Philadelphia locations due to increasing retail crime in the century. Who cares that Wawa is leaving, right? Except Wawa, for a lot of places, is their grocery store, it's their gas station. It means a lot to a community when a place like that closes. Homicide and violent crimes are surging. Robberies have more than doubled this time in 2021. Violent crimes up 7%, robberies with guns up 60%, commercial burglaries 50%, retail up 54%, which explains Wawa's decision to leave. Joining us now, columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Solomon Jones. Appreciate it, sir. Do people really realize how meaningful having a convenience store in your neighborhood is if you don't have a car or you have to take the bus to go get groceries?
I think it's interesting that you're making this argument because I think that in my experience, Wawa isn't in the poorest of neighborhoods in the city of Philadelphia. Wawa tends to be in the suburbs or in more affluent areas. There's a Wawa downtown. There's a Wawa in Cheltenham. There are Wawas in neighborhoods that really aren't poor, so they don't necessarily serve the poorest of the neighborhoods here in Philadelphia.
Okay, so is them closing then okay because of crime? Is the community not hurt by them closing?
Well, I think that the two arguments are they're not mutually exclusive, but I think that there are separate issues here. One is that crime is driven by policies that really rope people into neighborhoods where poverty is the norm and where you don't have an economy because there are no jobs. And so that in itself creates crime, right? But then you have what's happening with Wawa leaving and some Starbucks leaving as well. And certainly crime is a driver of that. But I think also they are looking for greener pastures. Again, they are not necessarily located in poor neighborhoods anyway. There are no.
I'm thinking about CVS leaving a number of locations in Walgreens in San Francisco, and not just on a local basis in Philadelphia, but across the country. We're seeing this where stores are closing because of increased crime. And then you think about companies leaving. Chicago, where we are, which has had a huge increase. Boeing, Citadel, Caterpillar, all leaving Chicago. San Francisco, Uber, Airbnb, Oracle, decamping. When there's high crime, the companies leave. And doesn't that mean that the poorest among us, people who work as janitors or who work in the service industry surrounding where those companies' headquarters are, they don't suffer?
No, I think people do suffer when companies leave, but they suffer because they don't have the jobs, right? And so people are able to get out of poverty because they have jobs, because they have a way to support themselves. And so when you have companies that leave, the way that poor people are hurt is that they can't get those jobs. It's not necessarily
these are the Wawa, these are the workers at Wawa or Starbucks. The workers at Wawa and Starbucks and everywhere else. And this is what I think is interesting, is whether we're being honest and fair in the conversation. I appreciate you having it on because it is a nuanced argument and you make some excellent points. MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell fails to ask the Pennsylvania Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate about crime in softball interview. I'm thinking about people in Pennsylvania, specifically in Philadelphia. They're voting for their governor. Isn't crime a big issue that people are concerned about there? Why isn't it discussed more, you think, with the politicians?
Well, I think it is discussed with the politicians, and I can't speak to Andrea Mitchell. She is a national figure, but I host a radio show and I ask politicians on a regular basis about crime and about the economy because those two things are tied together. I think that there is no politician that's going to solve a problem instantly that's been decades in the making. When you redline communities, when you don't give them access to jobs, when you create economic barriers for them, then crime results from that. I think what we have to do is look at how we create policies that will allow people to have some resources if they want to get out of it. And those who want to continue to be involved in crime, then certainly they have to pay the price for that.
You make a great point when you talked about the workers, which in the end it's always the poorest among us who get hurt. Mr. Jones, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.